Shortly after I had already graduated high school, I came across a book called Shibumi by Trevenian. It's about an assassin and international intrigue and all that, but that's not what's important. It's the concept of Shibumi itself. This is a Japanese word. And here is a quote from the novel. In philosophy, where Shibumi emerges as wabi, it is spiritual tranquility that is not passive. It is being without the angst of becoming. And in the personality of a man, it is, how does one say it? Authority without domination? Something like that. Now, when I read this, it really galvanized something in me that I carried for a long time, just in the back of my mind. It has to do with simplicity, excellence, mastery. That's what we're going to explore today. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control, from Fitness to Flourishing. So that concept of Shibumi sat in the back of my mind for years, probably about a decade actually. And then I started training in Wing Chun Kung Fu. And I started reading books about martial arts training, martial arts philosophy, and I came across a second book written by Forrest E. Morgan, and it's called Living the Martial Way. Here's a quote. Developing your sense of Shibumi is a deliberate process of carving away. You pare away everything in your technique, your conduct, and your manner that is imperfect or superfluous. What is left is simple, elegant, and dignified. Now for me, that clarified the concept. I didn't really understand it, having read the novel first. It was very esoteric in my mind, but I kept thinking that it was something that I wanted to live in my life. And having read the quote by Forrest E. Morgan and how he described Shibumi, it started to make sense. So for myself, I coined the term Shibumi minimalism. I began striving to eliminate the inessentials in my life to the point at which I would be living a simple, dignified existence consistent with my highest values, my most important goals. It encapsulated a standard of excellence that I aspired to live. The next thing that I read, I came across, again, research. I love reading. I love exploring ideas. And David Mamet, who is a director, a writer, probably his most famous film, I think, at least the one that I know best, is Glengarry Glen Ross. And he wrote a book called On Directing Film. And here's the quote. It's good, as the Stoics tell us, to have tools that are simple to understand and of a very limited number, so that we may locate and employ them on a moment's notice. I think the essential tools in any worthwhile endeavor are incredibly simple and very difficult to master. The task of any artist is not to learn many, many techniques, but to learn the most simple technique perfectly. Now, when I read this, I like to put it in my own terms. So I made a note. And what I thought was, you want to practice an intentionally limited number of skills. Simple is effective. And you'll also be consistently practicing to a higher degree of mastery. And this brings me to another quote, this one from Bruce Lee. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And that summarizes what I was starting to learn in my martial arts practice. And Then I came across a quote by Einstein, and he said, "There are 5 ascending levels of intellect: smart, intelligent, brilliant, genius, and simple." He also said, "Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler." I always struggled to understand that second quote. How do you make something as simple as possible, but not simpler? Over time, I figured it out. If something is made as simple as possible, it's been pared down to its functioning parts, and it still performs the function for which it was designed. If, however, it's made simpler, the design has been changed to the point that it doesn't function as it was originally designed. So, for example, if you have a bicycle and you take away the handlebars, it's simpler in design, but now it doesn't function the way it was supposed to be used. But if it had tassels on the handlebars, you could remove the tassels and it would still function as a bicycle. It was made simple as possible, but not simpler. So then I started to apply that to the simplicity of living and mastery and excellence as well. As I'm speaking about this concept now, I kind of have to laugh because it's that simplicity on the other side of complexity. It's been quite complex. I had to work through this, but that is the key to a quality of simplicity that actually has value. So some deep philosophizing in this episode. Hope you enjoyed that. That's it for today. Catch you next time.